Welcome everybody to another edition of TW 2020 as we're continuing WCW 2003 as we're on the road to Slamboree. So let's go in with Nitro. And we're live from, this is arena in Philadelphia, I guess. It gets a little over 10,000, so there we go. But we start out Nitro. Well, we don't start out Nitro, but we have a pre-show match where it's Konnan, Jason Jett, and Scott Taylor going over Mark Jindrak, Kaz, and Johnny Swinger in 15:05 when Konnan submitted Johnny Swinger with a ziplock. This gets a 62. This was one of our worst pre-show matches because Johnny Swinger really isn't good. But I decided to give him a random match because he hasn't had one in a while, even a squash on Saturday night. So I decided, why not? But otherwise, Konnan, Jett, and Taylor get a solid win, and there we go. Gets 62, like I said. Anyway, the actual show starts out with our, returning hero Sting, Bill Goldberg, and Booker T all coming out. And, basically, this gets a 94. And it starts out with saying, Bill Goldberg saying, Vampiro, you're next. We got the paperwork, but we also talked to Bischoff tonight, and we made sure that while Sting and Booker T are taking on Morningstar and Lestat later tonight, both your and your Mercy Messias asses are banned from the building. Big pop for that. And Booker's like, Sucker, right, it's just the beginning. Messias, I'm gonna kick your ass from one side of this, from the arena to the other at Slamboree. Well, Goldberg keeps the world title. And Sting's like, then Sting takes the, mic and says, it's good to be back. A couple months ago, I admitted I was down in the dumps. I got my ass kicked, and I can admit it. But after Sacrifice, when I saw what the Deadpool did, I did what I had to do. I got my ass in a plane, and I made sure I was at Nitro last week. And when I saw what happened, I made sure that these two men, who are the foundation of WCW, who are the conscience of WCW, had some backup, and I had some backup. And he holds up his baseball bat. So, boys and girls, the Stinger is back. And that means one time. It's showtime once again. Big pop, 94. There you go. Here we go. Yeah. So then we're in an abysmal match. That's sad. In our Four Corners #1 contendership for the World's Women title, Beth Phoenix defeated Amber O'Neil, Gail Kim, and Jordan Cole in 8:56 when Phoenix pinned Amber O'Neil with the Down in Flames. Gets a 57. Amber O'Neil gets a 48. Phoenix gets a 45. Kim gets a 54. Cole gets a 47. Amber O'Neil was off his game. But it's still a pretty solid, just, typical four-way match. Beth Phoenix gets the advantage and gets the big win. And then, after the match, Beth Phoenix is, celebrates. Then she cuts a quick promo basically saying, Lexi, you consider yourself the queen bitch of WCW. Well, it doesn't matter what you call yourself, because at Slamboree, you're going down in flames, and I'm rising once again. And I'm getting back my women's world title. 38, solid stuff. There we go. She rolled bad because of the pre-show, but what can you do? Basically, we have a quick promo where the Horsemen are arriving. Johnny Rash is catching up with them. He notes that Konnan and Joni aren't there. Ric Flair's like, son, it doesn't matter. Because we're still the Horsemen. Canyons, Joni's, they're taking some time off. They deserve it. Kane's got the world title for so long. Then he got screwed out of it. But doesn't matter. Because at Slamboree, the Nature Boy is getting back on top. And then whoever's the world champion, that 10 pounds of gold is coming back to the Horsemen one way or another. But tonight, the best tag team world championship wrestling, as he points to Jared Douglas, are going to show my opponents in Slamboree what happens when you mess with the Horsemen. Ooh, and there you go. Guessing 82, solid stuff, and sort of sets up that the main event tonight is Sean O'Haire and RVD versus Jared Douglas. In a good match, DDP basically defeats Mike Awesome in 8-11 by pinfall to Diamond Cutter. I don't just hype up this as a pay-per-view quality match on Nitro, but people know that's not really true anymore because Mike Awesome is sort of on the downswing, unfortunately. This gets 71, DDP gets 70, Awesome gets a 68, and then after the match, he's like, I can accept when I was beaten, even when it's BS. So, Flair, you have your fun. I'm sure O'Haire and RVD will have fun kicking your ass, but I'm not talking about them anymore. I'm moving on. And who I want to talk to is that punk kid Shane Helms. You think you're special because you're US heavyweight champion? Well, you beat me a while ago by the hair of your chinny chin, not even really grown in chin. But I'm still standing. So if you got the balls, Helms, come out here and I'll make you feel the bang. Helms comes out and is like, how dare you talk about the superstar of WCW like that? Old man, you want a shot US title? Fine, you got it. If you can get to Slamboree. And then Gigantes comes in from the crowd and tries to attack, and he actually gets Gigantes DDP up for the chokeslam, but DDP slips out and boom, Diamond Cutter on Gigantes. Big pop. Everybody's happy. There you go. Helms looks surprised, everything else, and DDP, looks good. And gets an 80. So there we go. Then we're back. No, we're not. Now we get our next video, which gets a 36, where we talk about Johnny is now in training with Elizabeth's brother, who is just a random jobber, or just a random, whoever. And basically, he's supposed to be he's in we're in some Italian countryside, sort of ruins, and Johnny is where we show clips of Johnny training with him, with spears and battle armor and everything else, and then we cut to later, and Johnny's huffing and puffing, okay, that's a little different from other training I've had, but come on, you've led me around Italian countryside, it's been beautiful, but what do you want me to do? And Elizabeth is you trained well with my brother. In fact, you trained so well, I think you're ready to truly move on. But you need to see one more thing. Because you shouldn't be Johnny the Bull. You shouldn't be Johnny Ciamboli. You should be your true name. And then we cut the black on that. 36, again, this is my personal project. I'm going to get this over if it freaking kills me. Yes, we'll move on. And then, in a good match, Booker T and Sting defeated Morningstar at Lestat in 12:47, when Booker T pinned Lestat with the Harlem Hangover. This gets a 79. Booker gets a 87. Sting has a 75. Morningstar has 71. Lestat has 65. So, Sting and Morningstar, Morningstar hits a big dive on Sting at the end, but it doesn't stop Booker T from getting the win. And Sting was off his game. That's unfortunate. But just a solid, hour one main event to get the crowd happy. And then after the match, the babyface is celebrating, gets 69. There you go. Move on. No heel attack because Vampiro and Messias are gone, and we just see Morningstar sort of pointing at Sting. Then we're backstage. We're during Barashas with O'Haire and RVD. He brings the fact that RVD and RVD sort of had some miscommunication last week, and RVD's bro, it's all under the water. We're together. At Slamboree, we gotta fight, and that's fine. That's cool. We're both athletes. We want the competition. But tonight's about sticking it to the Horsemen. There's that's exactly right. I'm the future of World Championship Wrestling. I'm okay to fight with RVD, but tonight we're together for one thing: kicking the Horsemen's ass. And that's basically it. Gets an 81 and solid stuff. Then in Bout had a good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd. Chuck Palumbo defeated Lance Storm in 8:28 by pinfall with Palumbo's Pride. Gets a 70. Just, straightforward. Again, mid-card match to put Palumbo over. Again, I wish I had something for Storm to do at the moment, but, sometimes if you're in the mid-card, that stuff kind of happens. And then, so Palumbo is celebrating with Stacy, typical post-match. When Scott Steiner comes, out of nowhere, he just drills Palumbo from behind and begins beating him down. Stacy actually goes to move him off her, and Scott goes to maybe strike her, but Stacy backs up, and instead Scott Steiner strips her dress off. He leaves her in bra and panties to put that over and get a slight crowd pop from the crowd. But there we go, we've got a new feud. 85, everybody was really over here, and there you go. Again, it's still 2003. Those are ankles. work in 2003, unfortunately. Or fortunately, depending on your point of view. And then we're backstage, and it's a quick promo where basically Jeremy Borash is with Air Raid. They've got their tag titles, and they basically accept the AMW's, they accept AMW's challenge. Straightforward. They talk about, AMW talk about the future of tag team wrestling. Well, we're the president of tag team wrestling, world championship wrestling. We've came here, we've risen to the top, we fought the best, and now we're the best. 63, solid stuff. Then, in a decent match, which puts over Ray Jr. and Alex Wright versus Silver City Rollers, and there's the fact that Ray Jr. and Alex Wright still want some form of revenge over Shane Helms. So in a decent match, Ray Jr. and Alex Wright defeat Silver City Rollers in 11:08 when Rey Mysterio pins Reno with Springboard Hurricanrana. This gets a 74. Ray Jr. gets a 74. Ray Jr. gets an 85. Cash gets 74. And yeah, there you go. And the babyface is celebrated, including Tori, gets a 70. Nothing too off the wall. And then we see a backstage segment where Kidman and April are visiting with Shane Helms in his locker room, and we can see him talking. DDP is mentioned, but before we can see anything else, they notice the camera and they close the locker room door. 87 because these guys are both actually really over heels at this point. And then in our main event, it's a back and forth tag match, but in the end, in a superb match, Jeff Jarrett and Shane Douglas defeat Sean O'Haire and RVD in 16-18 when Shane Douglas pins RVD with the belly to belly, following interference from Ric Flair. So Flair gets involved, and Douglas gets the big pin. This gets an 86. RVD is up to a 92. O'Haire's up to an 87. And yeah, this is just, Flair's the dirtiest player in the game, and he managed to get the Duke against O'Haire and RVD once again. And that finishes the show, and that gets an 86 for the night, which is a really good, this is really good. Not quite probably what Nitro's going to get, because they'll randomly have another 99, but what can you do? But we'll see what happens here in a second. But yeah, I consider that a good show to build things. We've got a women's world title match set up. We've got the world tag title match officially. We're building up to the three-way. We got the feud between the baby faces and the Deadpool continuing, and a way to get Vampiro, and because I just didn't want to do another brawl with Vampiro and Macias screwing up things. Yeah, but there you go. So, well, first let's go ahead and we lost our U.S. Arena battle because WWF is WWF. But actually, what I wanted to show first, so if we go to companies, we go to the WWF, or WWE at this point, we go to the profile, and we go to show history. So last night was Backlash, so let's go over that first. So, Taylor Matheny defeated Selena Majors. Okay. Mark Henry defeated Crash Holly. Big Boss Man and Quick and Sexy, which is Kate Quick and Brian Christopher, defeated Rikishi and the Radicals, which got a 68. Okay. Jeff Hardy defeated Jake Roberts. Again, okay. Dudley Boys defeated the Outcast, which were, in case you forget, Rhino and Tommy Dreamer. So that's unfortunate, which probably tells me I need to do some finagling to break up the Dudley Boys eventually, because otherwise they're just going to keep the tag belts forever. William Regal defeats Matt Hardy. Lita defeats Molly Holly. Weird that Trish should have a women's world title match. Christian defeated Hardcore Holly by countout. Okay. And then we get some big matches. So first, The Undertaker defeated Shane McMahon. Okay, gets a 90. Steve Austin defeated Chris Jericho and Scott Hall. Gets a 95. Big Show and Edge defeats Shawn Michaels and Eddie Guerrero, which gets a 99. And Kurt Angle defeats Kane to retain the world title, which gets a 94. And then we can go to Raw, which happened last night. So we go there. And Raw, okay, so we had Dean Malenko and Supply Demand going to Matt Hardy and Quick and Sexy, Chris Jericho defeating Skull, Scott Hall getting a win, Eddie Guerrero defeating Jake Roberts by DQ, Edge defeating Rikishi, Big Show defeating Jeff Hardy, and in the main event, Disturbia of Steve Austin and Raven defeated Kane and The Undertaker by DQ, which gets another 99. So there you go. And go over some stuff on our end. So first we'll go to finances. So finances last month, we made 1.2 million, so that's solid. As far as merchandise, so last month by merchandise by worker, Bill Goldberg was only one to earn over $1 million. Then Booker, Johnny Lawler, Sean O'Hare, Canyon, DDP, RVD, Vampiro, Kevin Nash, Macias, Sting, Ray Jr., Shark Palumbo, and then we go all the way down because I just like to see who's at the very bottom. At the very bottom is Cash, Chris Harris, and James Storm, and Bobby Heenan. Okay. And then if we look at our storylines, 65 for Cruiserweight Fun, 92 for World Title Feud, Helms Feud is 91. This fun is at 81. This gets a 32 because why not? Canyon doing Canyon things gets an 86. The three-way feud is at an 86. Diner Palumbo is at an 80. Tag title match is at a 74. TV title tournament is at a 53. Women's title showdown is at a 54. And Morningstar Sting is at a 79. There you go. Solid stuff. Building up to the next pay-per-view. But yeah, nothing else to really show. Oh, right, I also wanted to show Saturday night tapings. There we go. New Order or something. So in the first Saturday night taping, Gail Kim got a squash win. Edith Skipper and Kid Romeo defeated Scott Taylor and Ernest Miller. And in our actual Teddy Hart, Natty Neidhart, and Jack Evans continue to be on the road to WCW. And then Tajiri defeated Fit Finlay, which was our first semifinal. And then there was a handshake afterwards. And then in the other thing, which will be shown on this following Saturday, Celine Cartier got a squash win. Gigantes defeated 3 random local workers, including Chris Chetty and Tatanka. And Yang and Noble had a backstage promo where Yang told Noble to not get involved, like last match. And here, Jamie Noble came to ringside. He didn't get involved, but Kaz still got upset, and that allowed Yang to take advantage and get the big win. So Yang got the win. Yang and Noble celebrate, and the jury came out, and we had a stare down. So that sets up the TV title finals of Yang versus Yoshihiro Tashiri for the vacant TV title. But that's all for now. So if you enjoyed this, go ahead and give it a like, comment below on anything you're enjoying or not enjoying, and subscribe to the channel for more fun TW 2020 content. That's all for now. See you later. Adios.